In 2028, 4 astronauts will strap into a rocket bound for the moon. Not just to visit it this time, but to stay, to work, and to walk again on ground no human has touched in more than 50 years. The lunar South Pole. A place so extreme that even now, scientists still cannot fully predict what will happen when humans try to survive there. 4 astronauts, a mission that lasts nearly a month, longer than any lunar mission humanity has ever attempted. And somewhere between launch and landing, at least one of them will understand something Apollo astronauts never had to face. Not fear of the unknown, fear of exactly what could go wrong. Because this may be the hardest, most dangerous moon mission ever attempted. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why any failure on the moon could be catastrophic. For more than 50 years, no human has walked on the moon. And that changes with the Artemis 4 mission.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
4 astronauts will launch from Earth on NASA's Orion spacecraft, carried by the Space Launch System, the most powerful rocket NASA has ever built. After a 4 to 6 day journey, as they reach lunar orbit, only 2 astronauts will transfer into the lander and descend toward the South Pole, while the other 2 will remain in Orion, circling the moon and monitoring the mission from space. And that is where the mission stops feeling like a journey and starts feeling like a test. And finally, when the astronauts touch down on the moon, something is waiting for them. Something that sounds harmless, the lunar dust. Except this dust is nothing like dust on Earth. It's called regolith, and it is made of razor-sharp glass-like fragments created by billions of years of micrometeorite impacts. On Earth, wind and water smooth dust over time. On the moon, every grain stays jagged. Every particle stays dangerous. Apollo astronauts said it smelled like burnt gunpowder. It clung to everything: suits, tools, seals, cables, and the inside of the lunar module. It got into places it was never supposed to reach. And that is the problem. The dust sticks because the moon has almost no atmosphere, and solar radiation can charge the particles electrically. So instead of falling away, it clings. It works into joints, it grinds at seals, it covers equipment until systems that should move start to strain. And it gets worse when they start working. They won't just be walking on the surface, they'll be drilling into it, collecting samples, moving equipment, and setting up systems that could keep them alive. Every tool that bites into the ground will throw more dust into the vacuum. Every movement will stir up more of the same abrasive regolith, pushing it into seals, joints, and suit fabric. The astronauts will be wearing the most advanced spacesuits ever built for this mission, but those suits have only ever been tested in labs and simulations on Earth, never against real lunar dust. And that gap between simulation and reality is exactly where the next danger begins. Every time astronauts step back inside the lander, the dust travels with them, drifting into the air they breathe. Apollo astronauts who breathed it in reported sneezing and irritation, and scientists still don't fully know what repeated, longer exposure could do to the lungs over time. But the real terror is not that it exists, it's that it builds up. Artemis 4 is not a quick visit. It is a long mission, and the astronauts on the surface are expected to spend about a week near the South Pole. That means every step kicks up more dust. Every suit movement pulls it deeper into the hardware. Every hour on the surface gives it another chance to get inside something vital. And dust is only the beginning. Artemis 4 is heading to the lunar South Pole. And compared to the places Apollo explored, it may as well be another world. Some craters near the pole never see direct sunlight. They have existed in permanent pitch darkness for billions of years. Inside those shadowed regions, temperatures can plunge to around minus 250 degrees Celsius, colder than the surface of Pluto. And yet, that is exactly where NASA wants to go, because those dark craters may be hiding water ice. The problem is that to reach it, astronauts and machines have to work in a place built to destroy both. Extreme cold can make materials brittle. It can reduce battery performance. It can affect lubrication, movement, and reliability. Even basic navigation becomes harder when the sun hangs low on the horizon and shadows distort everything. To even see where they're going, astronauts will rely on helmet-mounted lights just to cut through the darkness, while landers and rovers use laser-based instruments to map the terrain ahead of them. But even with that technology, a single misstep can turn deadly. NASA's own safety studies warn that low visibility in these shadows increases the risk of a fall. And on the Moon, a fall is not like tripping on Earth. A steep-walled crater can swallow a step before an astronaut even sees it coming. And once inside, there may be no way to climb back out. That is not just dangerous, it is haunting. And that isolation gets worse. Near the South Pole, terrain can interfere with communication, depending on where the astronauts are working and where their lander is positioned. That means signal dropouts and communication delays become a real concern. If something serious happens during one of those gaps, a suit problem, a rover failure, a medical emergency, the crew may have to face it alone, with mission control unable to help in real time. There is no quick rescue mission, no immediate backup, no fast way out. But the darkness is only what they can see. The real danger is invisible, and it's already inside them. For all 30 days of this mission, astronauts will be exposed to radiation levels nearly 200 times stronger than on Earth, and there's no escaping it, no shelter, no way out. Their suits are not armor. They're paper thin against something that tears straight through metal, fabric, and skin like they aren't even there. And once it's in, the damage doesn't stop. It multiplies. Deep inside, DNA starts breaking apart, silently, cell by cell, while everything on the outside still looks fine. The immune system collapses from the inside, right when the body is fighting hardest to survive. And somewhere deep in the brain, in the nervous system itself, something is changing. Something even scientists can't yet explain and can't yet stop.